Welcome to Fun Amazed, the place where reality proves that sometimes common sense just takes a break. Get ready to discover something you'll be talking about all day. Let's dive into today's wild adventure. We're back with the third edition of the infamous Darwin Awards, a countdown of the wildest, weirdest, and most cringe-worthy ways people manage to leave their mark. Each story we share may leave you shaking your head in disbelief, but rest assured, these are real accounts, a reality where common sense, well, it's sometimes not that common. Ready to witness the moments that will make you laugh, gasp, and maybe facepalm just a little? Let's dive right into the top 5 Darwin Awards. Number 1. Snake Shoots Man Scores Darwin Award. Imagine this. You're in the wilderness, surrounded by nothing but trees and the sound of nature. And then, you see it. A snake. For most people, coming across a snake like this would be a reason to back away. But not Ali. Armed with his trusty shotgun, he was determined to capture the snake alive, pushing the barrel behind its head to hold it still. But what he didn't know was that nature can be a little unpredictable. What happened next would seal his fate forever. In an instant, the snake wrapped itself around the shotgun barrel, pulling the trigger with deadly precision. And just like that, Ali's life ended in a moment of utter irony. A hunter, fatally shot not by his prey, but by his own weapon, triggered by the very snake he sought to control. This is the story of a tragic reminder of how sometimes the hunt doesn't end the way you'd expect. Another entry in the Darwin Awards. Number 2, Thrills Gone Wrong. Roller coaster tragedies fueled by recklessness. Let's head to California, where a particularly unlucky middle-aged gentleman learned a different but equally shocking lesson. This man, let's call him Hat Guy, was enjoying his ride when, his red baseball cap flew off and landed in a restricted area beneath the coaster. Now, a normal person would think, hey, maybe I shouldn't go into that clearly marked dangerous area. But not Hat Guy. Because what's more thrilling than defying common sense and safety signs, right? So off he went, climbing fences like it was an obstacle course, determined to get that cap back. Well, turns out, the thrill-seeking didn't quite go as planned. As he retrieved his cap, a foot from a passing rider kicked him square in the neck, knocking him out cold. And, well, there went his plans. Talk about losing your head over something silly. To add a cherry on top, the woman sitting next to him got a broken leg and lost a shoe, and is now suing for damages. So yeah, the cost of thrill-seeking just went up. At the end of the day, folks, roller coasters are meant to be thrilling, but not that thrilling. Safety harnesses exist for a reason, and ground under a speeding coaster is never a good place to go for a hat. So, let's stick to the rules and keep our heads firmly attached. Ride smart, ride safe, and let's leave the thrills to the tracks, not the danger zones. Number 3. King Louis III, the fatal consequences of chasing desire. France in 882. The air was crisp, the land was prospering, and King Louis III had just conquered new territories and defeated Viking raiders. Things were looking up for our young king, but little did he know, a different kind of battle was about to change the course of his reign. Love, the oldest and most powerful force in the world. When King Louis spotted this lovely lady, there was no stopping him. He mounted his horse, ready to chase down his new heart's desire. Because nothing says true love like a high-speed gallop after someone who may or may not have noticed you. Now, this is where things get tricky. As our good king charged forward in pursuit of his quarry, he forgot one tiny detail. The door lintel. And bam! Just like that, King Louis III met his untimely end, all because he couldn't see past his, well, desire. Talk about a fatal attraction. Louis didn't exactly get the royal treatment he had in mind. Instead of a romantic rendezvous, he ended up with a broken skull and a one-way ticket to the afterlife. So what can we learn from King Louis III's tragic and, frankly, ridiculous demise? Well, when chasing your desires, it's good to keep your head on straight, or at least duck when necessary. So remember, folks, love is powerful, but so is common sense. If you're going to chase after someone, make sure you're not chasing your own doom along the way. Number 4. Scott's shocked fate, a fatal mistake on Friday the 13th. The Perseid meteor shower, a night full of shooting stars, wonder, and apparently poor decision-making. Meet Scott, an aspiring astronomer with big dreams, and an even bigger blind spot when it comes to common sense. Now Scott, being the budding astronomer that he is, Thought he'd take a closer look at the stars through a telescope. But here's the thing, Scott. The best way to watch a meteor shower? The naked eye. Who needs a telescope when you've got a wide-open sky, right? But let's be real. Scott wasn't exactly known for his stellar decisions. And here's where Scott's night takes a sparkling turn. You see, Scott, bothered by the glare of a streetlight, had a brilliant idea. He decided to get up close and personal with the 4,000-volt power cord. You know, because why not? It's only electricity. Scott began his electrifying adventure. But as any electrician might tell you, playing with a 4,000-volt power cord is, well, not the best idea. A flash of light, not from a meteor. Scott had just learned the hard way why you shouldn't tamper with things that can turn you into a crispy critter. By the time Kimberly reached him, it was already too late. Scott was pronounced dead at the hospital, but not before teaching us a very important lesson about electrical safety. Don't confuse bravery with stupidity. I guess Scott did. Scott might not have had the stars in his eyes this Friday the 13th, but he sure had a shot at a Darwin Award. Number 5. Deadly Resistance, the Sailor and the Multimeter. In the grand tradition of asking what could possibly go wrong, we present the cautionary tale of one curious sailor and his unauthorized science experiment. The year was 1999, and our sailor had one question on his mind. What's the resistance level of the human body? A question best left to scientists. Or better yet, never asked at all. Armed with a Simpson 260 multimeter, a device powered by a humble 9-volt battery, he decided to find out. But in his excitement, he pressed a little too hard, breaking the skin and introducing a salty, conductive superstar into the equation, blood. And just like that, the tiny current from the multimeter completed its fatal journey across his heart. His heartbeat? Short-circuited. His resistance reading? Unknown. The moral of the story? The Navy doesn't issue tools for self-experimentation. And remember, folks, not all curiosity leads to discovery. Sometimes it leads straight to the Darwin Awards. And that wraps up another chapter of the legendary Darwin Awards, where common sense takes a vacation and the gene pool gets a little bit cleaner. If you had a laugh or learned a lesson, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Fun Amazed, and ring the bell for more wild, wacky, and downright unbelievable stories. Stay curious, stay safe, and stay amazed.